What? This? Oh, this is a long story. Come sit with me. So the story starts back 17 or 18 years before when I first went to Amboli with all our family and friends. Then I was a small kid and surprisingly I remember very little things but I remember them very vividly. The one thing that I remember very vividly is getting bit by a leech and losing a lot of blood on the last day of our trip. 20 years later we again decided to go to Amboli and we packed our bags, loaded our luggage and set off to Amboli.
मैं चला शहर से दूर नदी के और पहाड़ों के बीच सबसे दूर अकेले रहना तेरी यादें मुझको आए समझ न पाया वो गुजरी बातें.
We stopped for a quick lunch break at a hotel named Konkan and the curry was average but the bangda was fried to perfection. After lunch we headed back on the road again and while going to Amboli we saw a beautiful river flowing besides the road and we decided to spend some time there watching the river flow.
शाम सुबह मिलते नहीं खालिद है पर दिलचस्प भी सुबह पूछे रात शाम में क्या हंसी शाम में पूछे रात सुबह हो क्या नहीं जाकिर करे वो जाहिर नहीं.
Just while entering Amboli Ghat, we saw a very horrific accident. Both the cars clashed each other and like they were pretty damaged. One of the locals came to us and asked us to take one of the injured passengers to the nearest healthcare of Amboli. So we immediately said yes and set them in the car. We dropped them to the nearest healthcare and then we continued to our trip. After that we decided to go to Mahadevgarh and you have to drive through a forest. Like it's a pretty bad road to drive through but the drive is all worth it because the place that you see is pure heaven.
हाँ चल रही थी तू साथ मेरे तो बाकी दुनिया में भूल गया जो हंस के तूने हाथ पकड़ा तो लम्हा जैसे थम सा गया ये जो पल है कुछ अलग है इनमें खो जाऊं मैं तो कहीं तू मेरे आगे मैं तेरे पीछे यूं ही कट जाए बस जिंदगी तुमसे कहना भी चाहूं तो क्या कहूं कि धड़कनों की अलग सी रिदम मेरी तो सांसें भी चलती है रुक रुक के अब बस ये फिक्र है ये होना खत्म तू ही तो मेरा साथी है मेरे सनम तू ही तो दिल चुराती है मेरा तो अब मैं क्या करूं.
Before it got too late, we came from Mahadevgarh. After visiting Mahadevgarh, we came back to the main spot of Ambolim, which is the Ambolim waterfall. And it was just so magical. The morning next day was pure scenery. Heavy rains and a lot of clouds that were surrounding the mountains. We had our breakfast in Amboli itself. After breakfast, we headed towards the Hiranyakeshi temple, which is like the main tourist point of Amboli. The temple is so scenic and it is covered with a dense forest. There is the idol of Devi Hiranyakeshi, and there is a ling of Shiva, which is known as Hiranyakeshwar. We then left to Kavesat Point, which is a pretty famous point in Amboli. While going, we had corn on the way. When I went there, what I saw is the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. Endless lush green mountains, waterfalls falling from each peak over there, and beautiful white clouds. It is the closest description of heaven that I could have imagined.
I found you passing by in cold December. Lost in view, but still your
But as I was enjoying the corn and looking at the scenery and planning shots like I'll take this shot over here, that shot over there, till then all the scenery was engulfed by fog and white clouds.
And your gaze, I remember.
We waited there for 30 minutes to see if the clouds get cleared and we could see the scenery, but it did not happen. So I'm just happy with this one clip, which is in blur actually. So this is how it looks without the clouds. There, after coming back, we had tea and one of the crispiest bhajis I've ever eaten in my life. It was just pure bliss in the cold weather over there. So at Kavresat Point, it was pretty crowded over there, and while coming back, a tire got punctured. So we had to drive down the hill, and we took out the puncture. As I was going to sit in the car, I opened the door and banged my head into the car door. And here I was, bleeding again after 18 years in Amboli. I think I have some connection of blood and Amboli. While we were coming down from the point itself, the river which we had crossed earlier had overflown over the bridge, and it was pretty difficult water crossing over there. And one of the locals asked us if you all are confident to drive through the river. Then my father confidently took the car through the river, which was pretty dangerous if we could have just flown off by the river. But we safely crossed the river, and then we had mutton thali, which was just for lunch, and then we came back home in Goa. It was one of the most beautiful trips that we had done, and it was just a 2-day trip, but it was very adventurous and very beautiful. We were also pretty lucky to come back that day, because after that, this was the scene of Amboli. So yeah, this was the video from Amboli. I hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, tada.